Alright, what's up everyone? Today we got a review for The End of Oak Street, a new movie with Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor, and it's produced by J.J. Abrams and his Bad Robot company, and it was directed by David Robert Mitchell, who also did It Follows, which is funny, and he did that Under the Silver Lake movie, which I think has Andrew Garfield in it. So definitely a complete polar opposite movie to what It Follows is. But it's basically this family, Ewan McGregor, Anne Hathaway, they're the parents, and they live in this neighborhood where it seems like a perfect, happy little life, and what people would think of like the American dream being is kind of what they're living. To an extent, this like lightning storm happens, and then their entire neighborhood gets teleported into the past. At least that's what they think, and so the movie is them trying to figure it out. As a concept, the movie was pretty solid in that regard, but I feel like instead they focused more on the idea of it than like an actual story, because it is, other than like the setup of like them showing their lives in the neighborhood and then the thing happening and then them having to figure out what's going on and then having to deal with the dinosaurs and other stuff like that. There's not much story substance after the first like 30 minutes. Honestly, it's kind of just a bunch of like set pieces where a couple of them are pretty solid actually. There's one with like a giant snake going through a house that was pretty dope, but overall it's mostly just, yeah, it's like an idea, and they had some cool ideas for scenes with dinosaurs, so they kind of put it together to make this movie. And I feel like it does take a little bit from A Quiet Place, just like that dynamic. And there is a scene in the movie that doesn't hit quite as much as they probably want it to. Again, probably trying to take a beat from A Quiet Place. It's just, yeah, it just feels like something was missing. It's like, other than the cool dinosaur scenes and the cool setup, for the most part, there's nothing there. There's not really an antagonist that they run into, obviously, other than the dinosaurs, but there's no like other characters. There's like one character they run into that like joins them, but like there's barely anyone else. It's just them. It is 90 minutes though, so it's a quick hour and a half, so that's always good. It was a lot bloodier than I thought it was going to be, considering it's PG-13. It's like PG-13 blood. I thought there weren't going to really be any stakes, and there really aren't, but when it comes to like, you see people getting murked, getting people picked off, like in the background. People are getting grabbed, getting their heads snatched, or getting thrown off, or ripped apart, or getting eaten. But it's like in the background, kind of like blurry. So you don't really see much of it, but it's also, you'll see like blood stains and blood splatter and stuff like that. So I thought in that part it was pretty good, having some stakes in that way, but overall there wasn't too much peril. There was some close calls, but I guess it's more like, they're gonna survive. It's not that kind of movie where it's gonna be super depressing. Yeah, even with like the time travel stuff, they kind of explain it, but also I wish they would have spent more time actually developing like why this happens. It's kind of just chalked up to like, it just happens. It's just, man, it's just a thing. And it's like, it would have been cool to explore why it happens, and maybe if it's happened to other parts of the world. There are some questions about it they do answer by the end, which I liked. If our neighborhood gets teleported back in time, then what happened to all of the land that was where we are now? And they, deal with that and show that. And again, there's a lot of cool concepts, a lot of cool ideas. There was one reviewer I watched, and he said it's more like a television episode, and I could see that, just like a show, like an anthology show or something like that, where it's got like a sci-fi theme to it. It could be something like that, but for a whole movie, it wasn't very. I feel like you could just wait till streaming. I feel like if you took your whole family to the theater and paid like $200 to watch this movie, you'd probably be pretty disappointed, especially when you have like Spider-Man and the Odyssey and literally any other movie to spend your money on. I mean, the acting is good, of course. You got Anne Hathaway, Ewan McGregor, and Anne Hathaway is kind of having her renaissance again this year with the movie she's been in, and she's got another one coming out as well. I think the kids did a good job. There were some points that was kind of annoying where I guess they had to act scared, or like when they were in peril, and I just thought there was some overacting. But again, if you're a kid in those situations, you're probably gonna be screaming your head off and stuff. I just find it kind of annoying, but that's just a minor thing. And yeah, overall, I'd probably give this movie 6 out of 10. I enjoyed it enough to sit through it. It's not too long. Again, it's only 90 minutes. Some cool ideas, some cool concepts. Not much story other than like the main setup of being teleported back in time. Fine acting, they did what they could since there wasn't really much story. It's pretty generic beat by beat. Other than that, yeah. Let me know down below. Did you see The End of Oak Street? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Peace.